Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion around the concept of Gemini astrology and one of the significator of the Gemini astrology called as the Dara-Karaka. So guys, definitely when it comes down to any of the concerns of relationship, there are like different parameters through which you can get an answer of that. Now definitely I follow palmistry as well. So looking at the side of your palm, we can get an answer to that. In your astrological calculations, we give attention to the 7th house, we give attention to the Venus, 7th house Lord, what is the condition of the D9 chart, like 7th house Lord in the D9 chart as well. Upapada Laghan, we also give attention to that. But definitely guys, out of all these combinations, Gemini Karaka plays a very important role in giving you the information that what aspect of your soul is evolving with different incarnations. And specifically when we talk about like the aspect of your life where you have got some acquired, inherited wisdom and maturity, where your soul is naturally very evolved. So that aspect we can definitely get to know from the planet which has got highest degree in your natal chart, which is called as the Atmakaraka planet, which is called as the soul significator planet of yours. Lot many astrologers also give attention to this planet only in order to find your East Devata as well, the most preferred chosen god which is meant for you. But along with that guys, when we talk about Dara-Karaka, so the simple calculation through Gemini astrology of the Dara-Karaka is the planet which has got the lowest degree in your natal chart, which in itself tells about, not only tell about the qualities or characteristics of your partner, but it also tells about deep insight which aspect of your life, of your soul is not very well developed, which area of your life needs to be worked upon, where you need a person in your life, where you need a formal union through which you can find or attain that completion, through which you can have that sense and degree of finding yourself being at home. So that is the department which is generally given to a planet in your natal chart which has got a lowest degree, which becomes your Dara-Karaka planet. So guys, in this video we will try to understand that in which all alignments and combination the role of Dara-Karaka becomes very important. Now definitely guys, it all goes down to individual whatsoever your sexual orientation is. Like I also come across lot many people like my childhood friend, like even over here as well I need to mention this thing. At the time when I was explaining the Ashlesha Nakshatra, lot many people got offended. Trust me, even I mentioned all of those things with stone in my heart, but I needed to give you the first account what has been written in the scriptures. But the point which I am trying to say over here is that the brother-in-law of my this childhood friend, he is like living a complete celibate life. I guess he lives in the ashram of the Sadguru Isha Foundation, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, he like follows a typical yogic lifestyle, diet and everything. So even Dara-Karaka concept will work in his case as well. So whatsoever your soul is craving for, where you are eyeing for that attainment and completion, a union, like in the case of those people who have got and who have chosen the path of renunciation, spirituality, a union with the divine, even in their case as well, those craving for the divine, you might even get to know more than the Atmakaraka from the Dara-Karaka. Again guys, this is a very like a point of discussion when we talk about the part of your soul which is highly evolved and the part of your soul which is not that much developed, which naturally drift you or drive you towards certain things consciously or unconsciously. So yes guys, that was a little bit about the Dara-Karaka planet. So like the way I was mentioning this thing, that in this video we will try to understand that in which all alignments this Dara-Karaka becomes very important. Definitely guys, even from the Gemini Karaka concept, we know a little bit about that. The best Raj Yoga which is considered in the like Gemini astrology is if you will find any conjunction or combination between the planet with the highest degree, which becomes your Atmakaraka planet, and planet with the second highest degree, which is called as the Amatya Karak. So any conjunction, any combination between these two planets is considered as the highest form of Raj Yoga in the Gemini astrology. But again guys, even apart from that, even in Gemini astrology, there are different aspects as well. Like all the dual signs, they aspect each other, and the movable signs aspect the fixed signs, barring the sign next to it. So even planets aspect each other, and they form a pattern and combination in Gemini astrology as well. But in this video, I will try to give you a very simple explanation that in which all alignments this Dara-Karaka becomes very important. So guys, first of all, just a brief idea, like let's try to look at that if different planets are going to be your Dara-Karaka, what sort of characteristics in any form of union your soul might be craving for. Again guys, like the way I always mention this thing, that this concept of Gemini astrology and the Karaka is highly evolved spiritual term. Like the way I still remember at the time when I joined my numerology course in Bharati Vidya Bhavan. So over there, and these days lot many people in numerology, more than the Pythagorean system, they follow the Chaldean system, and definitely very soon I will be uploading content on numerology as well with lot of enthusiasm and much force. So I just asked people that, okay, what is the difference? Like if Pythagorean system is in any case giving me good results, why do we have to shift to Chaldean? Then lot many people gave me this explanation, which I also found true in my research, that Pythagorean just follows the simple number pattern. Like, you know, you go from A to Z in a simple form, sequential form. But when it comes down to Chaldean, it is more spiritual. So like for example, in the Chaldean system, number 9 has not been allotted any letters, because they consider this number to be so holy, which represents the divinity in itself. So that could be understood as a difference, like the way I mentioned Pythagorean, which could be very kind of a mechanical side of your personality, but deep inside the spiritual lessons and that spiritual voice might come more from the Chaldean system. This was supposed to be a separate exclusive video. I blended it in this concept. But yeah, the point which I'm saying over here is that, so when we talk about your actual what kind of partner you will get, that could be a situation and alignment of the planet which is your 7th house lord in your natal chart. But when we talk about what your soul is actually craving for, that is something which we get to know from the Dara-Karaka planet. So now guys, let's say for example, if your Dara-Karaka is the planet Sun, so that in itself tells about that your soul will be driven towards a person who will demonstrate the strong solar qualities. That person could be very original, very creative, he might be very famous, might have some sort of authority or like some sort of entitlement in the society. If your Dara-Karaka is the moon, so that tells about that emotional nourishment will be of utmost importance for you, and you will be driven towards someone who might have a natural affinity and love towards fellow like animals, birds, someone who likes to travel a lot, someone who's very imaginative, someone who's very out of the box thinker, and who has this deepest sense of empathy. Now if your Dara-Karaka is the planet Mars, so definitely guys, you will be driven towards someone who's going to be very youthful, along with that adventure lover. Like these days we keep on coming across all those young couples who have their own social media handles and they create some joint couple content and all, and along with that very driven towards, very independent, very forward thinking, along with that degree and sense of youthfulness. Same is the case if your Dara-Karaka is the planet Mercury. So definitely guys, that sort of childishness and that sort of inquisitiveness, trying to learn something, always trying to socialize, always trying to entertain everyone, and being very skilled, and always trying to spice up relationship, keeping it very young and dynamic, and always interested in some travel adventure could be the qualities which you will definitely get attracted towards. Now if your Dara-Karaka is the planet Jupiter, definitely guys, when it comes down to your radar to finalize or your filter for finding out a partner for you, so wisdom, knowledge, and some sort of, you know, your you will be driven towards someone who will have this capacity to inspire you, to uplift you, to motivate you. Now, if your Dara-Karaka is the planet Venus, that in itself is this indication that you might be attracted towards someone who might have a very kind of a immaculate dressing sense, someone who might be in one way or another way connected with the fashion, entertainment, PR, finance, someone who is very hospitable, someone who is like a proper peacemaker, someone who has got a very active social life. So those are the qualities which your soul will definitely and very naturally get drawn towards. Now guys, let's say for example, if your Dara-Karaka is the planet Saturn, so that also tells about that. See, when we talk about someone who is kind of a loner but might be an expert or well respected or has got a very strong command in his or her line of work, so those kind of very serious, very committed, very driven people in the life might be the qualities which will be naturally drawn towards or attracted towards. So now guys, after knowing little bit about the qualities and attributes of different planets becoming your Dara-Karaka, now like the way I started this discussion on this note, that in which all alignment this Dara-Karaka becomes important for someone or in someone's life. So guys, generally what I have seen in my research is that if you will find that your ascendant lord in itself is your Dara-Karaka, then that craving for finding a partner, finding someone who very strongly represent the qualities of your ascendant lord will become very important. Now definitely guys, like for example, when it comes down to any sort of matchmaking, the only thing which we give attention to is, oh my god, you are a Taurus rising or you are the Libra rising. So we look at the 7th house, we find the Mars over there, and any astrologer will start zeroing in all the radar, all the kind of parameter of assessment only around the 7th house planet, which is the Mars. But what if the situation is that it's your ascendant lord only, which is your Dara-Karaka as well, and in your case, you being a Taurus or you being a Libra, if that planet in itself is Venus, which has got the lowest degree, then in those alignment guys, finding a person who resonate the qualities of Venus will become very important for you. The next combination is definitely guys, if you will find that Moon becomes a Dara-Karaka planet for someone, then definitely guys, even in that situation as well, emotional nourishment will be of utmost importance for the native. And along with that, if you will find that this Moon is also placed in the 1st house, this Moon is placed in the 4th house, this Moon is placed in the 5th house, then definitely your soul will crave towards that sort of nourishment in the relationship. Now guys, in certain cases you will be surprised, like let's say for example, if you will take up the case of like for example the Cancer Lagna, you will look at the 7th house, so you will look at the Saturnian qualities, but when you will see or actually meet the spouse or partner of someone, then you will see that okay, I'm not seeing anywhere the Saturnian qualities, I'm seeing more of a very emotional empathizer, a very kind of a people pleaser kind of person who's very emotional, very relatable as well. So in those kind of cases, so the very first alignment which I mentioned, that if your Dara-Karaka planet becomes your ascendant lord as well. The second alignment is that if Moon in itself is your Dara-Karaka planet. Now guys, after that I will give you simple and basic 3 alignments where this Dara-Karaka planet becomes very important. Now the very first combination is that if you will find that this Dara-Karaka planet is placed in your 7th house in itself, so that tend to remain a very strong affirmation that definitely within your marriage there is a strong possibility that you will end up with a partner or with a spouse as per your liking. So whatsoever life or destiny will connect you with, there is a strong possibility that this is what is going to be your actual craving and your requirement from a relationship as well. Like there is a very strong possibility that if your Dara-Karaka planet is placed in the 7th house, there is a very strongest of the possibility that native is going to be in a contented matrimonial life. The second combination is if you will find this Dara-Karaka planet to be placed in your 9th house. Now guys, this is a kind of a typical alignment where we say this thing that doing the divine surrender to the will of the gods is the right way of dealing with any of your matrimonial related concern. Like the way this is the same thing which we say for all those people in whose case you will find Ketu to be placed in the 7th house, that surrender it to the divine. You're not gonna have any control in the matters of your 7th house. It is definitely going to be a mystery. Any of those surprising events, this could be someone who got very early married, someone who got very late married, anything to do with your partner, like half of the time your partner was away from your life because of the work related responsibility. So 7th house Ketu means surrender it to the divine will. Same way guys, if your Dara-Karaka is placed in the 9th house, surrender it to the divine will, but somehow for the upliftment of your or fortune awakening because of the arrival of the partner. Or this could be a case that whensoever the important auspicious events have happened in your life, whensoever you have taken some important decision, somehow the decision making, the advice or cooperation of your partner played a very important role in connecting the dots in those opportunities. And lastly guys, what I've seen is that if you will find that Dara-Karaka is placed in the 11th house. So again guys, this is a one sort of affirmation and confirmation that there is a very strong possibility that whatsoever your wish is from the partner or your expectations are from the partner. So if your Dara-Karaka planet is placed in the 11th house, there is a strong possibility that you will end up being with someone who will fulfill all of your those deepest inner desires and all. So again guys, definitely we have to see and take into consideration lot many facts, where the 7th house lord is placed, what is the condition in the D9 chart. But again guys, like the way I mentioned this thing, this is where comes a difference between the Pythagorean numerology and the Chaldean numerology. So all what matters is that there could be those cases that it hardly matters what kind of outcome you are gonna experience. Deep inside your soul is going to be contented. That is what I can assure you if you will find your Dara-Karaka to be placed in the 11th house. Definitely guys, there are lot many layers to it. So this was just a basic video. In the next video I will come more prepared with some more reference chart, example charts with me as well. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.